Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Brown's Latest. I'm Dave Grendzynski. You can call me Grizzer. And this is where we get you caught up on some of the latest news that's tied to our favorite team in the NFL, the Cleveland Browns. And then we give you our takes and our opinions on the news along the way. Thank you to everybody who's liked our previous episodes, who have subscribed to the channel, all of you who have become members of the Browns' Latest Dog Pound, and those of you who get your comments down there in the viewer comment section. I hope you enjoyed the instant reaction show from out there at the Sportsbook, the MGM Northfield Sportsbook yesterday. It was we're trying to change up the mojo for our Brownies, heading out there and watching the games out there and then doing the episode out there. So like I said, just trying to change things up, change up the mojo for the Brownies. And it didn't seem to work because it just led to us to a just another meltdown Monday. The Bengals have to call me, because if that song, we get that song done, it would get a ton of airplay here in Cleveland. And so since it is another meltdown Monday, there is plenty to come unglued about. I also feel like I know when Shedeur Sanders is finally going to get to play. It won't be this week because we've already been told that we're sticking with Dillon Gabriel. But I do have a feeling when Shedeur will start. We also get to play the Ravens at the absolute worst time in the season. And the Browns did something that most football coaches have never, ever seen before. So we got that going for us. But first things first. Just another meltdown Monday. I'm doing my best not to go into full meltdown mode. Just want to let you know that up front. Because it's just you can't make this stuff up. So first things first. Not that you want to see them, but here are the stats. Not pretty. And as you peruse through them, you'll see Dillon Gabriel throwing for 167 yards. Yes, 167. Another day under 200 yards passing. It was better, I guess, in some respects. At least we scored 2 touchdowns. But, when you go through it, we were better than them in pretty much every offensive category. It's hard to say. I mean, we dominated time and possession, 34-26. Well, not maybe dominated, but we won time of possession. We had better on third downs, 278 total yards, so they're 169. But we were sacked 6 times for 47 yards because we still insist on calling plays that drop our quarterback 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage with a line that can't pass block. Why we keep doing that, I don't know. 6 for 47. They had 3 sacks for 12 yards. Miles had one of those. Penalties, 10 for 78 we had. And the killer was the one when nobody in the entire universe thought that the Jets were running a play on that at the end of the game, and then we decided to jump off sides anyway and give them a free first down and end the game. Unbelievable. 292 return yards they had, which brings me to this. How has Bubba Ventrone held on to his job? It makes absolutely no sense to me that he does. But the thing about this, the other thing that as it just absolutely makes no sense is you hold Justin Fields. Justin Fields had 12 yards passing entering the fourth quarter. He ends with 54. The other 42 came on one pass, that screen pass to Breece Hall. And what are you going to do? We sold out. We sent everybody. They had the right play called. And they hit it. Second and long, and they hit it. So he ends up with 54 yards passing, which got me wondering, how many quarterbacks throw for 50 yards in a game and win? And here's the list. You had Geno Smith threw for 31 in Seahawks Rams 5 years ago. So this is how rare this sort of thing is. Drew Brees, 40 yards, Saints versus Raiders in 2015. Matthew Stafford threw for 34 in a Lions win over the Vikings in 2014. Jay Cutler, the Bears beat the Vikings that day with only 39 yards passing. How about Blake Bortles, 40 yards, Jags versus the Texans in 2015. And now when you look at all that, you're like, wow. Like, this was crazy. But, and I'm sure, like, you may have seen this. A lot of, I mean, if you have seen it already, I'm sorry. But this is, like, when you stare at this stat, that's when you really start to say, holy moly, boy, we really accomplished something, didn't we, yesterday? Since 1950, teams were 225-0 when holding an opponent to less than 175 yards and then not turning the ball over. The Browns are the first team to do that. Lose a game after not turning the ball over and holding an opponent to 175 yards or fewer. I mean, you can't make this up. That's total yards, folks. Like, you just can't make this sort of thing up. When you look at it, they had a total of 54 yards passing and 127 yards rushing. So they ran the ball on us a little bit, but their 2 touchdowns come via the special teams, which again brings me to this. How does Bubba Ventrone still have a job? How great would it be to just, even Stefanski, like if you were at your job and every week, like, you just don't get the results that are expected of you, or you just don't do anything right, and your boss comes to you and says, hey, we're terrible. And all you have to do is go, oh, we just have to be better. We have to be better. I understand the question, but we have to be better. That's all you have to say. How great would it be? And then you just keep your job week after week. We just have to be better. But when you look around the league, too, when we're talking about Dillon Gabriel, I mean, he was just inconsistent. The play calling was a little bit better. Not much better, because, like, there were those ones that kind of, like, we had some good play calls, but then we made some stupid ones, too. Like that 4th down, like, what are we doing when we get sacked? Like, that was just stupid. That kind of balanced it out. It was the play calling, like I said, a little better, but I mean, Gabriel lucked into that. We had, I told you, the Justin Fields interception was going to happen. Hopefully you cashed on that. Hopefully you cashed on Judy's over. Told you they were going to force feed him, which they did. I mean, he ended up with 6 catches. So it, for 78 yards and a touchdown. But it was Judy. I mean, he was a big part of that touchdown, because we set up shop at the 22 after the pick, and, it took every ounce of strength that Gabriel had to get that pass off, and it would look more like a punt. It was quacking its way. It was a duck, man. Quacking its way down into the end zone, and Judy made a nice adjustment, came back for it, and made the catch for the touchdown, So the offense, even though we scored 2 touchdowns, you had a short field, super short field, and then the other drive was completely aided by 2 massive defensive penalties by the Jets. It was like 50 yards in penalties on those 2 plays that we got. That was, at one point, I said that was our best play of the day so far. We should just call pass interference every time in the huddle. And then when you look around the league, though, like, what Gabriel, again, 167 yards, and he's not passing the eye test, because he's overthrowing guys, still throwing to ghosts. Like, he ran the ball a little bit, ran for over 50 yards, but it's just, still batted, passes being batted down. And the drops, I don't know, man. Maybe the left-handed thing is a thing. These guys, Judy drops another one. Ford's dropping balls, like everybody. Like, why is Ford on the field doing it? And Tarasso Tarasavulu, who was on the show yesterday, he was out there at the sportsbook. He made a good point. Schwessinger's out there on special teams. He just had the high ankle sprain. He's like our best defender, our leading tackler, and he's out there on kick return and kick team. And he's making tackles on the kick team. Like, what are we doing with that? Just like me, talking about why is Dylan Sampson returning kickoffs? He's never returned kicks in his life, but we're going to stick him back there. And then how about this? When you look around the league at what these other quarterbacks do compared to Dillon Gabriel. Tyler Shuck goes on the road and against a tougher defense, a dome team outside against Carolina. He puts up 282 and 2 touchdowns. I mean, Stafford, 280 and 4 touchdowns. Goff, 320 and 3 touchdowns. Drake May, 270 and 2 touchdowns. Baker, 273 and 3 touchdowns. And even the quarterbacks that lost yesterday, most of them put up better numbers than Gabriel did. I mean, it's the same thing over and over and over with this offense. There's just nothing. There's just very little to get excited about. I mean, Judkins at least carried the ball 22 times for 75 yards, but still end up with a loss. We still end up with a loss, which brings me to this. I think I know when Shedeur should play. I think Gabriel's last game should be this game against the Ravens. We're going to get destroyed. They're going to destroy him. The Ravens will. And it's going to, I think it's going to look a lot like the first time we played him. Maybe not even that close. I mean, we hung around with him for a while, but the offense did nothing. And I just don't see with Gabriel. I mean, how this is going to happen. And I think Shedeur should get the last 7 games. I think he should get that game against the Raiders the next week. And then he'll get San Francisco at home. 5 of our last 7 games are at home, and so if you want people to come down there and watch, you better put Shedeur in there because nobody's coming down there to watch Dillon Gabriel. It's just not going to happen. And so if you want that stadium full, you better get Shedeur in there, and it better start with the Raiders game. This has to be Gabriel's last game. If you're going to stick with him, if you're serious about that, Kevy Kev, then this better be the last time we have to watch this. That's what I am saying. It better be Shedeur versus the Raiders, and then he gets to come home and play against Cam Ward. Everybody will want to watch that. No one will want to miss that. So that'll be must-see TV, and that's what we said. Remember before when the schedule came out, I said Shedeur against the Titans. Looks like that's what's going to happen. Better happen that way. Give him the Raiders game on the road and then bring him home, baby. Let's go. So the storyline's heading in. Number 1, this better be Gabriel's last game. This better be the last time. He's going to be a great backup quarterback. Like that's it. He'll be able to hold down the fort when your franchise guy, has to miss a game or two. Like that's it. He's a hold down the fort guy. He's not taking you to multiple Super Bowls. He's not. Everybody sees it. Everybody knows it. Even the kids talked about it yesterday. Colin and RJ from North Ridgeville, Colin from Streetsboro, they talked about it yesterday too. This is the future fan. Gabriel's not it. And we get to play Baltimore at the worst possible time. They are rolling now. Lamar back now 2 games. Like he looks more and more like himself every week. Throwing it all over the place. He's running all over the place. They go to Minnesota, beat Minnesota yesterday. So this is the worst possible time. They are starting to run downhill already. And as soon as they got Lamar back, they knew their playoff chances. They still had all they needed was a chance, and now they got more than a better chance of making the playoffs now because they are running downhill, especially the way Pittsburgh played last night. And Pittsburgh is not that good. Their defense is terrible. And Baltimore, man, they are coming, man. They are coming, and they are not going to let the Brownies get in their way. Not an undersized left-handed quarterback. They are not letting that happen. And is anybody ever going to get fired? That's the other. That's like a storyline that we have every week, but nobody ever seems to get fired. Like I said, you could just be bad at your job and just tell your boss, "Oh, I just need to be better. We all need to be better." Yeah, we just need to be better. I know we're losing the company money. I know. We never make any more sales, or we're losing customers. I know. But we just need to be better. Better. That's all we need to do. Which brings us to the viewer comments. We're going a little heavy on the viewer comments today because there were so many great ones. And we will start today with James Scratchgo 666, who says, how much can we stand of this Stefanski circus? This is ridiculous. 13 yards in the first quarter for Fields and company. How about 12 yards going into the fourth quarter? 12 yards passing going into the... I've never seen that before. A quarterback with 12 yards passing going into the fourth quarter, and they were tied with us. That's just unheard of. Like, I just... If I told you that was going to happen before the game, you would have laughed me off the mic. It's just unbelievable. But I digress. Remember, Meltdown Monday. James goes on to say, not much better play calling. Same old, same old. Stefanski has to go. Stefanski has lost his team. Get rid of him. 66 years of fandom, and this is by far the worst coaching I've ever seen. I can't argue with that. I agree, man. And I've been saying this. This has been like his second year in. You could see he's too soft, man, and he can't call plays. And it's like, wow, why is he still here? How does that happen? How can you be that bad, as an NFL coach and still hold on to your job for this long? It just doesn't make any sense. But CJ Hunter, 5574, might have the answer. CJ says the only reason Stefanski is still around is because they don't want to make the payout. And there could be that could be part of it. They're paying. I mean, we showed you the list the other day, all the dead money. All the people they pay that aren't even around anymore. So they still want to add him to the list, maybe. Maybe they just wait to the end of the season. Let this play out. But the only way you're going to give anybody's going to pay attention or have any interest in this team the rest of the way is put in Shedeur. Bottom line. That's it. You heard the kids say it yesterday. Ken Reeves, 8511. This is what we teased at the top. He says, I coached at the college and high school level for 38 years, and I have never seen a hold by the punting team. It's usually called against the return team. Stupid Fansky knows that Shedeur is a better quarterback. That's why he will not give him the same preparation and opportunity as he does Dillon. It's a shame that he is intentionally sabotaging Shedeur and borderline abusing and demeaning him. I'm with you on the whole punt. I've never seen that before. I've called hundreds of high school guys. I've watched football for years, seen thousands of games probably in my lifetime, and I've never seen the punt team get called for a hold. So what are we doing? How does that even happen? Only in Cleveland. Only with Bubba Ventrone as your special teams coach does that happen. I can't understand the Ventrone thing. Like, if you don't want to get rid of Stefanski, at least this guy. I mean, his special teams have been a complete disaster since he's been here. But he still holds on to his job. Doesn't make any sense. Angelo Loria, 7781, says, clean house now. The Groundhog Day analogy is appropriate. The players and fans need to feel this cycle is ending. The locker room is lost. Yeah, that's right. I mean, and you heard it yesterday. The Groundhog Day. Remember the Bill Murray movie where he wakes up and every day is the same? Except for we just wake up on Sunday and then the game is the same. Everything, that's what I'm saying. That's why I wanted to go out to the sports book, because it's like, I was hoping for something different, trying to make, but like we end up with the same thing. So I was glad I was out there. So you can, because I don't know what else to say about this team. It's the same thing every week, but we just keep walking into the pole, and people are going, no, just move a little bit over, and you'll walk. No, we'll just keep walking into the pole. It's the same thing every freaking week. It is unbelievable. T Monty 007. Is he a spy? Dillon Gabriel's touchdown throw to Judy was so trash. He put his whole body into throwing a 20-yard pass short. Luckily, Judy came back to the ball. I'm less than impressed today. Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong. He did. And a couple other throws he made, too. It looks like he just has to put everything he's got into these throws to get him down the field. And then you watch, the Bills lost yesterday, but you watch Allen or even Goff, and he's got other guys, Stafford, and, they're just slinging it all over the place, man. That's an NFL quarterback. Dillon Gabriel's a good backup. It's a good backup. He will be a good backup. I would be happy to have him as a backup. 100%. That's what I've been saying from day one. Now, I wouldn't draft a backup quarterback in the 3rd round. That would have never happened. I'd probably wait till like the 5th or 6th. But what do I know? Temperius 1. Dropping back for the sack when going for it on 4th down killed me. Yeah, you should have seen the people in the sports book. They all pieced out. Half of them pieced out, and then the rest of them pieced out on the offsides, the defensive offsides, when everybody in the planet knew they weren't running a play. But we still somehow jump. We still somehow jump offsides when on defense when everybody knows the offense isn't going to run a play, and then we also somehow hold on a punt. I just don't get it. No, we weren't returning the punt. We punted and we held. We held them after we punted. And we give I've never seen that before. And I told them the kickoff return, and then you get the next punt it, and they run that back too. I've never seen that. Like every week they do something, and it's never good. They do stuff that we're just like, never seen that before. But you're right, Temperius. You are very right. The Massey way, 27-24. The Jets secondary wasn't even at full strength, and that's true because remember the Sauce is gone. They traded the Sauce, and then one of their other cornerback got hurt during the game. He got concussed and was out. So they were essentially down 2 starting cornerbacks, and we still could only throw for 167 yards. What's that tell you? Shuck threw for 282 and 2 against a better defense on the road. A dome team outside. And this is only like his 3rd game or his 2nd game, Shuck. And he's already playing better than Gabriel. Classy Katina. Love the handle. Classy Katina, 35-74. It's over for Stefanski and Dillon Gabriel. Dillon Gabriel has already been named the quarterback for next week. Classy Katina, so it is not over for Dillon Gabriel. But she says that with Dillon Gabriel starting next week against the Ravens, we are guaranteed to lose by a landslide. Shedeur is the only one able to give the Browns a winning chance. It's time to put Shedeur in the game now. 12 deserves the opportunity. Absolutely. And I'm telling you that this should be, if this is not Gabriel's last game, it just doesn't make any sense. Nobody can understand what's going on. Everybody sees everybody sees the problem, but we don't do anything about it ever. And we will, you know me, I always try to end on an upswing. So we will end today with Harold Mitchell, 39-27, who said, "Great commentary, Colin." And I will throw in there RJ from North Ridgeville and like the kids were great. I didn't know what they were gonna say. But, man, did they hit right. I mean, that's your future Browns fan right there. Both of those guys. And you heard what they said, man. It's not good. I hope Haslam's listening to that. I hope you're watching the show, Jimmy. Because your future fan is not impressed at all. And you heard Colin say his allegiance is waning. That's what's happening. You better figure something out, Jimmy. We need changes, man. We need to change a quarterback. You got to change the head coach. This is a total rebuild again. You got to get rid of this coaching staff. I would love to see Ryan Day come up here. Bring Patricia with you, too. And draft every Buckeye you can. Let's do it that way. I don't know. Couldn't be any worse. Can only be better. Unbelievable. Well, we'll have to take them in a Tuesday tomorrow. But the Browns season now is pretty much dead like the ball. After that loss to the Jets. Hopefully you cashed on the interception. Hopefully you cashed on Judy yards. But I never in a million years thought they would lose that game. And I'm not. It's just unbelievable what this team is able to pull off week after week. And I don't mean in a good way. It's just unbelievable. The stats we put up, like that 250 and 0 or whatever, and now it's 250 and 1, and we're the 1. Can't make it up. Cannot make it up. All right. That's enough of Meltdown Monday. We got to take them in at Tuesday. Hopefully we'll get it back. I'm just excited to see Shedeur because it's got to happen in the Raiders game. Let's just throw Gabriel out to the dogs, or in this case, the Ravens, and let them rip them apart. It's going to be like when the Flying Monkeys came and got Dorothy and Tin Man, and that's what it's going to be like with the Ravens. They're going to be all over him, man. They're going to be all over poor Dillon and his left-handed throws, his ducks and his ghost throws. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. Remember, this is Meltdown Monday. I may feel a little bit better about the situation tomorrow. Take a minute Tuesday, but that's how I feel about it today. All right, thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully, again, you enjoyed the on location episode out there at the MGM. I'd like to thank the folks out there for allowing us to do that. All right, that's gonna do it for today. Go Browns. We'll see you next time.